Welcome to the Tennis Mini, a wrap at the end of every round of the US Open. Coming up, she's back. Naomi Osaka on the charge in New York. The Demon rises and Felix Auger-Aliassime lights up the night session. With me, Brett Thomas, and fresh from the US, an AO doubles finalist, Luke Saville. Welcome, Luke.
Thank you, Brett. Good to be here, and definitely starting to heat up the second week of the US Open and some blockbuster matchups to come. Really exciting.
And we'll talk about the round that was round 3, but you are fresh back from the US. We had Daria on the last episode. How's the jet lag on this Sunday morning in Australia?
Yeah, it's almost been a week since coming back, and early mornings getting up, but putting the robe on and making a coffee in my home coffee machine. So flicking the tennis on as well. So I'm usually an early riser. But some jet lag. Quick trip to the US, just over a couple of weeks, where I was doing some work with James McCabe, who did pretty well.
And you played some doubles with him as well?
I did, yeah, that got out. But it was more just to, he hadn't played in a while. It was his first event back after about 3 weeks of training, and just sort of thought to get some matches in for James. And really enjoyed it with him. I coached against one of my good mates, James Duckworth, second round of the quali. So that was an interesting one, but nice for me to get to another Grand Slam and to sort of see the level, and the game is always evolving, and really enjoyed it, and to see Dasha there as well, and to explore New York. It was a great couple of weeks.
Well, great to have you with us on the Tennis Mini. Let's get stuck into it. Your match of the round for round 3. What caught your eye?
Yeah, mine was yesterday watching Taylor Townsend defeat Mira Andreeva 7-5, 6-2, and very interesting one. Taylor Townsend, the 29-year-old, obviously so well equipped in doubles, obviously world number 1, I believe, and just possesses that really aggressive game style. And I really thought she brought that out in that singles match, really taking it to Andreeva, rushing her, sort of taking her second serve early, getting to the net, really just not playing the same point twice, I felt, and just sort of displaying that variety that Taylor Townsend has. Her ability to sort of come to the net, steal volleys, take time away, I thought was incredible. So I think her draw opens up now, and it's really just great to see her feeding off the crowd support, obviously on Arthur Ashe Stadium. 29-year-old, so sort of getting to the twilight, but playing great tennis, and also balancing that sort of singles and doubles, I think is very, very impressive, because it's not easy physically to play both.
Do you think she's been fired up by what happened with Jelena Ostapenko, and now she already had crowd support, being this her home slam, but do you think that's just given her that bit of an extra edge?
I don't think the altercation had much to do with it, but probably just the result, to be honest, beating Ostapenko, and Ostapenko in the second round, and then Andreeva in the third round. That's a brutal draw. So she's done incredibly well there, and I think she's one to watch. It'll be interesting how she balances the singles and doubles throughout the second week of the Grand Slam. I think that's always the challenge physically, but she can go deep in both. I really don't see how she's very well balanced right now to go deep.
Mira Andreeva, only 18. At the French, she also played a local hope. What's it like when you're at another slam or another event and you're playing someone who's at their home tournament, and it feels like the crowd is completely against you?
Definitely not easy. And Mira Andreeva, she's experiencing a lot of firsts right now. I think we keep forgetting she's only 18 years old, sort of 6 in the world. So she's an incredible tennis player, but she's coming into a lot of these Grand Slams, and she's being the hunted now, and her rise has been so rapid, and now she's playing on these massive courts with the crowds against her. So look, she'll be better off for these experiences. It's not easy to play on Arthur Ashe with a whole crowd against you when you're 18. But I think, she was flustered in that match. There's no doubt about it. She didn't handle it very well. I think her coach's box, they were a little bit sort of flat. There's not much they could do to help her in that moment, but they'll go away and she'll be better off. And I see her being a multiple Grand Slam winner. She's got the game. I was watching a little bit of her play doubles today. So she's straight back up on the horse, and a great doubles player as well. So she'll be fine, better off for the experience.
Yeah, long career ahead of her. My match of the round, Unfortunately, for an Australian perspective, Naomi Osaka defeating Daria Kasatkina 6-love, 4-6. She recovered the Aussie in the second and 6-3. Osaka won the first set in just over 20 minutes. It's her deepest run at a major since winning the AO in 2021. And looks like, Luke, she's officially back, Naomi Osaka.
100%. I think that's she's just such a dangerous player, especially on the fast courts and conditions in New York City. And it's great to see her back in the fourth round. So incredibly dangerous. I wouldn't be surprised if she makes a really deep run here, and been struggling for a few years, but 4-time Grand Slam winner. She knows how to play deep in slams in the second week of them especially. So definitely watch that space. A pretty good run for Daria Kasatkina playing for Australia now. Watched a little bit of her play Rakhimova second round, and that was a 7-5 in the third. Long match. So good to see her back playing well, but Osaka, I just felt like it's sort of on her racket, that match against Kasatkina, and she obviously played very well to seal that in 3 sets.
Yeah, she's won 9 out of her last 10, Naomi Osaka, and some signs there at the Canadian Masters, a finalist there. But great for Dasha that to lose the first set like that in about 20 minutes, but then recover and win the second shows a lot of mental strength and resilience.
For sure, and I think that's the great thing about tennis and the scoring system is, after the first set, it's a new set, so you can definitely mentally reset. And Dasha, she's an amazing competitor. I think that's probably her biggest strength. Great competitor, really good mover, so incredibly steady on the court. So not surprised that she hit back there and made that a real match. So I think she's well and truly inside that top 20, Dasha, and playing for Australia, and you can see the whole Aussie community really behind her. She's a great girl. Really enjoy her. My Dasha and her are, best of friends. So my Dash is thrilled that she's turned Aussie now and can't wait for her to sort of come to Melbourne end of the year and them to hang out.
We'll talk more about Naomi Osaka. She's got Coco Gauff, Blockbuster round of 16 match. That's coming up a little bit later on when we look ahead to the round to come. But time now, Luke, for our segment, Stocks Up and Stocks Down. Wall Street, of course, the New York team. Roll with us there. We'll start off with a match that just finished before we started recording, Sunday in Australia, Saturday, of course, in the US. And Felix Auger-Aliassime lit up the night session against Alex Zverev. His first time beating a top 5 opponent. What a great win for the Canadian.
Huge, and especially coming from a set down, the number 3 seed, and 51 winners over the top 5 opponents. So incredible match. And Felix, he's just so dangerous. He's, an incredible player. Just probably hasn't quite put it all together before. And look, that might sound harsh, amazing player, but, in slams at the, the highest level, you really need to put it together for a whole match and obviously multiple matches to make a deep run. So I think he's one of those players, when you talk about who can challenge, the top 2, I feel like someone like him can. He has the game, moves incredibly well. And, that's definitely a statement win, beating Sasha Zverev. So Andrei Rublev next in the 4th round. And then just looking ahead is a potential quarterfinal matchup with our own Alex de Minaur. So incredibly exciting there. And I think that's definitely a draw where all sort of 4 opponents there can fancy themselves to make the semis.
Yeah, so let's talk about the Demon, who you know very well. Played a German opponent, Daniel Altmaier, who was forced to retire. He'd come through 2 5-set scraps, one against Stefanos Tsitsipas, so literally ran out of legs. He had a thigh injury, the German. Yeah,
I was watching a bit of that this morning, and Daniel Altmaier won the first set, but you just always felt like if Demon can just sort of hang in there and make it tough, he's just so tough to beat over best of 5 sets. It's just, there's sort of no way around that. And especially the lower ranked guys, I feel like in Alex's head, it's, almost asking the question, you've got to play 3 hours, maybe longer, of your best tennis. You've almost got to say red line. We sort of say that in tennis terms. You've got a red line to beat me. And a lot of these guys, it's just so tough to do that over 5, especially in the heat. So he really, he sort of locked down there, didn't miss, and Altmaier sort of started to run out of gas, as you said. So great for Alex to get through that. And, he's almost a regular in these 4th round and quarterfinals now in Grand Slams. And I think all of Australia, including him, of course, are just hoping and wanting just that little bit sort of deeper run from him. But incredible player, putting themselves in great position, almost slam after slam. So I think this is a great opportunity for him.
He's made the quarters at all the slams twice in New York. Let's hope this is his year. He gets to the real pointy end of the tournament, as Novak Djokovic has done many times before. I'm not sure there's any history left for him to break, but he has broken one, and that was 192 Grand Slam hardcourt wins, went past Roger Federer. At 38, he's the oldest man to reach the last 16 in New York since Jimmy Connors way back in 1991. Didn't play any tennis before the US Open, coming in fresh. Dropped a set against Cameron Norrie, but he's just sort of slowly building. And if you can call him a dangerous floater, Novak Djokovic, as a 24-time Grand Slam winner, then he is one for Sinner and Alcaraz.
For sure, and I think it's probably one of the few times he's come into the US Open with that being his first event. So definitely a change of sort of tactic there for him. And I think it could pay dividends because, we know how long the season is, and Jannik Sinner retired in the final of Cincinnati. I think he's fine now, as we were talking off air. But I think coming in fresh can definitely help Novak. He knows how to play tennis. He knows how to conserve energy over 2 weeks during a Grand Slam. So he's back in the fourth round. Almost feels like every match he wins, he's breaking a record of some sort. So in the fourth round, and as you said, a dangerous floater, which is quite funny to say, but you can't write him off. It's that simple. And I think if he gets to a semi, to a quarter, he's just going to get better. And he knows what to do to win these Grand Slams in the last 2-3 matches of the tournament. So he's definitely someone to watch, no doubt.
Absolutely. Okay, another stocks up for me is the internet and Kamil Majacek. The Polish star had beaten Karen Khachanov. He's signing his autograph and taking selfies. A young fan comes down with a ball to sign. He was so taken by that, he gave him a hat, his hat. As he turned away, an older fan ripped the hat out of the young kid's hands, and the internet's blown up. Majacek didn't see it at the time, caught up with it on social media, and actually posted, "Can you help me find this young fan?" And within an hour, I think we might bring it up here, they'd found him. How good is this? The power of technology, Luke, and there he is, the young fan getting his well-deserved hat.
Yeah, you can almost say what you want about social media, but there's definitely some positives about it, isn't there? And that's great to see that he's connected with a young fella and then giving him some stuff, giving him another hat. So that's great to see. Camille's a great guy. He's had some injury setbacks, but to see him back in Grand Slams, it's no surprise to me. He's just a class act. He's an incredible player, great competitor. So it's really nice to see that. And we've got to find the thief as well.
Yeah, we do. The Joker and the Thief in the Night. Okay, stocks up for me. American women. We don't have the budget to play the Lenny Kravitz song, but 5 American women, Luke, in the last 16. Amanda Anisimova, the latest through just before we recorded. 8 years since that happened. So we've got Jessica Pegula, Ann Lee, Taylor Townsend, we mentioned Coco Gauff, and Amanda Anisimova just riding the hometown wave.
Yeah, it's I feel like they've been coming for a while now, the American women, and that's with no Madison Keys as well. So they're so incredibly strong, and I think that's great to see, just coming in a wave. And I think that's what Australia are sort of looking to do as well. And even at the start of the year, when we had a few of our women just on the brink of top 100, I think that was Kim, especially Isla Tomljanovic, even maybe Maya Joint, and now they're all in there and pushing. So I think that's the power of one or two sort of breaking in, and then everyone's watching that. I can do that as well, and it sort of creates a nice sort of flow-on effect. So it's great to see that sort of hunting in a pack, if you like. And I think Australia, we can definitely go in that direction as well.
Yeah, it sort of takes the pressure off each other. It's not just one that we're focusing on now. Or that Americans are focusing on now. There's 5. Let's get to stocks down, and I want to start with Stefanos Tsitsipas threatening to hit Daniel Altmaier for an underarm serve in their last match against each other. Do you get frustrated when an opponent pulls out an underarm serve, which has been popularised by Nick Kyrgios? You could go back to Michael Chang against Stefan Edberg, but Nick Kyrgios certainly has brought it back in vogue. Does it frustrate you?
No, I'm fine with it. I think anything goes, and it's not against the rules. Maybe some gamesmanship, but I mean, I've done it before. I think, if you go into the tactics of tennis, there's the courts are slower, the balls are slow, conditions are slow, and a lot of players are standing a long way back. So it's really tough to serve through them and get the ball past them. So to sort of counteract that is the underarm serve and drop it short and sort of force them to change their returning position a little bit and come up and make them watch for that serve. So think tactically there's a place for it. If your opponent's going to stand on the back fence and make it really difficult for you to serve through them, then you hit the underarm. So I've got no issue for it, or with it, I should say. And I think as long as you're not sort of changing your routine is kind of what I'll say, in terms of if you bounce the ball for quite a while, let's say 3 or 4 bounces when you usually serve, and then the next one it's you sort of rush up to the line and then go bang and sort of catch them off guard, then I've probably got an issue with it.
Yep.
So it's that fine line is probably what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Emma Raducanu hadn't actually won a round at the US Open since she won the tournament a few years ago. She did that, but unfortunately went out in the third round to Elena Rybakina.
Yeah, it's, obviously Rybakina's incredible play and so dangerous on her day especially. But I think Raducanu, she had the Australian Open 6-1, 6-love defeat to Swiatek, which is also very difficult. But I think all in all, she's had a great year. So I'll sort of pay her some compliments here as well. She's, she was sort of struggling a little bit at the beginning of the year, but now I think she's up inside at least the top 50. So she's doing really well, and sort of credit to her for sticking at it. She was probably copying a little bit of criticism, taking a lot of wild cards and whatnot, but she's earned her way up there. And third round of a Grand Slam, still a pretty good run for her.
Yeah, and she keeps running into some of the best in the world, the Grand Slam winners, Swiatek, as you said, Australian Open and the French Open, and Sabalenka at Wimbledon as well. So she's losing to the top players in the world.
For sure, and she wasn't too far off that Wimbledon match as well. So yeah, I think she's clearly got the game to compete at the top level. That's, goes without saying. She's a Grand Slam winner, but I think she'd be very happy with her year, try and finish it strong in Asia to finish the year, and she'd be very happy. I think she would have been close to 100 starting the year, so she's had a great year, and a lot of pressure on her, so I think she's handling it reasonably well.
Now, we mentioned the American women doing very well. In terms of the American men, Tommy Paul playing as we record this. They do have Taylor Fritz through to the round of 16. Ben Shelton, though, won't be joining them, which is a shame because he is a real crowd favourite and someone I think that a lot of us enjoy watching.
For sure. He brings the crowds in, no doubt. I really thought he was going to have a very deep run. So getting struck down via injuries, very difficult for him, in the third round, and felt like it was probably a really good chance to beat Adrian Mannarino. Again, a great player of our game and a veteran, but Ben Shelton, he's definitely one for the future. Winning in Canada only a few weeks ago, and he's definitely one for the lights, for the night sessions in New York City, and disappointing to see that. But he's young, he's healthy, he'll rebound, and he'll be one to watch for many years to come. Yeah,
just a shame it's not this year. Was tracking down a ball to win the third set, final point, won the point, but that's possibly where he hurt his shoulder. So Ben Shelton, the lefty, unfortunately out of New York. All right, time for a change of ends here, Luke, and then we'll come back with a preview of the round of 16.
It's the Tennis Mini, and we've gone through the talking point for round 3. Moving ahead to the second week in New York, or third if you count the mixed doubles. Brett, what matchup are you looking forward to the most?
Oh, beautifully done. I think there's only one that we've really picked out, and that is Naomi Osaka, Coco Gauff. Clearly, I think the match of the round, 3-2 in their head-to-heads, favouring Coco Gauff. They've met twice at Grand Slam level. 2019, can you believe that Coco Gauff was just 15? Naomi Osaka won that, but then Coco got her at the AO in 2020, 6-3, 6-4. Coco said they're not the best of friends. Okay. Naomi's hoping there's a bit of support for her there as well, but that is going to be absolutely huge. Blockbuster.
For sure, that's a huge one. And even watching Coco Gauff in her match the other night, she was actually reduced to tears at some stage because she was struggling, I think, on her second serve. She had in tennis terms, we call it the yips. She was double folding quite a bit, but I'll sort of turn that into a bit of a positive, and just the sort of the way she rebounded, won that first set in a tie break, and then sort of ran off with the second set. I thought was an incredible display of composure, discipline, persistence, all those sort of character traits which she has. So I thought she did a great job, and just shows the champion she is, even being still so young. So I think she did a great job, and I think early in Grand Slams, you're not going to be playing your best at times, but just getting through those matches, and then, I think she'll find that she'll just play better and better after going through some difficult sort of matches early in the tournament.
Yeah, it's interesting. Her first 2 matches were played at night. Her third round, where the pressure seemed to be on her, Isla Tomljanovic was her first round match. Her third round match was during the day against Magdalena Freck. Now, you wonder if she requested that. So she was out of the pressure of the night session because that was virtually flawless. Her served seemed, fairly good. So I wonder if that just took a little bit of the pressure off her.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. And Donna Vekic was the match that I was watching, and pretty tough second round for Coco and for both women, in fact. So thought she did a great job to get out of that one. And as you said, she played great third round. I didn't see too much technically wrong with the serve. She just lost a bit of feeling on it. Wasn't quite getting that shape on the second serve, which is so important. So she's definitely one to watch. And this fourth round match is a blockbuster.
Yeah, huge. A couple of Grand Slam champions going up against each other. What's your match of the round of 16 that you're looking forward to the most?
Yeah, the match that I'm looking forward to the most is Alex de Minaur playing the qualifier Luca Reedy. And, I think it is definitely a good opportunity for Alex. Even if he is watching this, I think he's a realist. He understands that and sees that. And, as we were saying earlier in the show, it's a good opportunity. The draw has opened up a little bit. He has a good record against Felix and Andrei Rublev. Incredible players, but in the quarters of a Grand Slam, I think he'd probably take that. And as I said earlier, he just keeps putting himself in these positions to contend deep in slams and just hasn't quite gone, further than what he would like. But, geez, he's not going down without a fight. And Luca Reedy, he's got a big game. He's played... What is that? That's 6 matches now in New York City, so he's full of confidence. Come through qualies is not easy. Everyone can play inside the ranking of 240 in the world. So, but I think a little bit like today with Daniel Altmaier, he's got to be tired, Reedy. So I think Alex's mentality is just going to be make him work. Even if Reedy can play a good first set, even first 2 sets, you've got to do that for 3 full sets. And I think Alex is going to make it really difficult. He should be fresh physically. He's in the best shape of his life, playing incredible tennis. So I'm right behind him. I think all of Australia is. And I can see him making a semi-final and pushing deeper beyond that. Very excited for him.
Yeah, how is his body? Because we know that he's, gotten this deep in a tournament before, only for his body to kind of let him down. He looks like he's fairly fresh, though. Yeah,
the Wimbledon was a difficult one. But I feel like, his hip, he was struggling with that for quite a while, even after Wimbledon for quite a few months. So it has let himself down, but I think he's physically great. I think it might have been earlier in the year when he won a match here in Australia, and he was sort of hitting his legs, and he was kind of saying, my legs are back. I've got my wheels. So he relies so heavily on those. Maybe the best mover in the game. So I think he's going to make it very difficult for Reedy to get the ball past him, make it super physical just in general. And he's very desperate for a big run at a Grand Slam. I think he's sort of been pretty outspoken on that. The 2 guys at the top are reasonably handy tennis players and tough to knock off, but Alex always goes out there with a great crack, has a crack, and I'm looking forward to see what he can produce, hopefully playing for a whole nother week.
Yeah, well, let's hope. We're talking about Alex de Minaur deep into next week with you as well, Luke. Appreciate you joining us today on the Tennis Mini.
Thanks for having me. Cheers.
And we will be back on Monday in the US or Tuesday in Australia here on the Tennis Mini. A review at the end of each round of the US Open.
Hey everyone, Harps and Andy here. Just want to remind you that you can watch every episode of The Tennis on our YouTube channel, Australian Open TV.
And we have an email as well, podcast@tennis.com.au. If you thought the show was amazing or you thought it was terrible, we are keen to hear from you. We'll read it. So feedback, comments, whatever it is, get in touch with us at our email and we'll catch you on the next one.
Catch you later.